What fetish is more popular than you thought? Jerk off instructions. They tell you how to jerk off? They tell you why to jerk off. We are really living in the future, aren't we? Scrolls frantically through thread looking for my weird fetish. Scrolls frantically looking for something I'm not into. Armpit man, you saved me. Are you calling me out for liking armpits? Consensual non-consented. Lol, some of you sending me messages acting like I made up with kink, like, I'm sorry it exists or something lol. All I can think about when I hear that is that episode off Law and Order, I think. Basically some guy gets arrested for trying to rape someone, but has super confused about why he was arrested. It's found out that the girl's ex-boyfriend secretly created a profile on a website for rape fantasies and, pretending to be her, scheduled with someone to come rape her. Obviously stuff like that doesn't happen, or at least very rarely, but that's what popped in my head. Unfortunately stories like that have actually happened. This is why the first meeting would never be the actual play. You meet each other, discuss rules and safety procedures before you ever set up a play session. It's too easy to impersonate someone else to not have set up be face to face. A rape fantasy is so risky, legally, that I would only consider doing it with a long-time partner. Otherwise, get a contract in writing. I know. Super sexy, but if you don't know this person well, is risking years and years of jail time to get someone off remotely worth it? I thought I'd list some of the main subreddits of the fetishes mentioned in this thread, and their membership so people can get a rough comparison or pay. 201,275 feet, 244,508 RBDSM, 592,245 Transporn, 344,808, ironically, more than trans, Futanari, 582,463 cuckold, 734,961 pegging, 294,422 pregaporn, 367,159 RBBW, 459,102 RBBW, 459,102 rincest, 252,839 tickling, 24,612, not ITT but it's mine so I get to add it to the list, Arvor, 41,495 Sanchik Skovor, 12,993 Flegs, 6,685 I have to say, Futanari wins the more popular than I thought prize, it's massive. Sanchik Skovor is our next step as a species. Foot and hand fetishes, I find both odd but they're actually really common for some reason. A lot more common than I thought. Hand fetishes? Oh yeah, primarily females with hand fetishes but they are extremely common lol. I didn't know until about a year ago either, and I pretty much had the same reaction. I've never met a girl that doesn't have a hand fetish. Giantesses or guys wishing they were small. I've had guys ask if I mind them imagining if they lived in my shoes. I was looking for this one. I've gone down the Twitter rabbit hole of this fetish and it's like a double-edged sword. Some of it is tasteful, but other stuff is deeply disturbing. Face sitting. My girlfriend popped a question one day like all the girls in the dorm say their boyfriends want them to sit on their faces, is that a thing? Like oh duck yeah that's a thing but I had no idea it was popular. I think all kinds of femdom things, gentle or otherwise are more popular than I thought. Your girlfriend just wanted you to say oh it's funny you mentioned that because. You see. I was wondering if. Pegging seems to be gaining much more traction. Then you need more lube. Don't tell me how to enjoy my carpet burn. According to a guy who worked in a movie rental store when that was still a thing, bestiality. Did some at work. Seen things. It's incredibly common. Seen things +1 from another techie. Ears. And I didn't see it coming the first time. I was just like WTF are you doing now? Fish hashtag I'm looking at you fishducker69. You dare summon me? I can duck all of you. Jesus Christ it's you fishducker69. Pregnant fetish. If you're going to hook up with someone may as well be with someone who's already pregnant so you know the baby isn't yours. This guy has seen Maury. Well. I'm officially vanilla AF. Lactation. It feels like you're just trying to milk this for karma. Cuckold. When I was single, I signed up for a swing app and I couldn't believe my eyes on how many couples were into this. And they go from a couple wanting to have a threesome to couples looking for a man to impregnate the wife. There were so many guys begging me to bang their wives. Since then, whenever I see a couple, I wonder if they do it. Imagine being born as a result of a cuckold kink threesome. I always thought about that. There was this couple which I was dating the wife. After a few months of ducking her, they come up with this whole plan of me getting her pregnant and then keep fucking her through the pregnancy, and even after that, the husband was going to pay for everything and raise like his child. Bloody hell, if I didn't know stuff like this existed, I would be 100% sure this would be a scam. Would still be too fishy for me tbh to actually take them up on that offer, unless they signed a lot of paperwork beforehand, and I double checked with an attorney that I don't have to pay a dime. And even if I am not sure I'd want a child to be conceived due to those circumstances, because even though I would have nothing to do with it, it would technically still be my child. Also, I know how stepdads can get, admittedly not all of them, because they have no real connection to the child. There is actually contracts for this thing, which states that you are only a sperm donor. Adults being breastfed. So glad I'm not alone. I can finally stop scrolling. Ass eating. Eat my butt used to be a playground insult, but is now a genuine offer. We'd call them a butt muncher where I grew up. I guess some of them kept that close to heart. Surprisingly, having a piss fetish is rather common nowadays. Fun fact, comedian Patrice O'Neal, who was into urolagnia, found out he had diabetes when his girlfriend commented that his urine tasted like birthday cake. He went for a test and it was identified he was type 2 diabetic. Incest, if porn is anything to go by. When my stepson was 14, he asked me if stepmom-stepson porn was based on real life, because he was interested. That was a very uncomfortable conversation. I have no doubt this is going to haunt him when he lies awake at nights. I'd rather him be haunted for asking than to spend years fantasizing about it. Teens have way more hormones than is socially healthy for him. I doubt he kept it up. Well, I'm pretty sure he kept it up for a while. Then again after a break. Guys' obsessions with MILFs. Had no idea how common that was, especially with millennials. I blame Stacy's mom for that. Futanari girlcock. Not trans people, but rather the specific fetishization of women with penises. I always thought it was niche, yet at this point I can't go to most communities in fantasy settings without encountering it. There's this one guy in the Ruby fandom who has a major thing for Schnee in particular having a dick. Man's commissioned easily a couple hundred artists to draw a picture of various characters encountering the schneeness. On one hand, most of the main cast are underage for the first few seasons, but on the other, honestly I'm kinda impressed that this guy knows who he is, what he wants, and how to get it. Findom. To be short, it's when a person looks for a partner to completely sponsor, send money, gifts, give complete control over his/her finances, and in return receives close to nothing. Again, depends on the relationship, but usually limited to non-intimate stuff. It baffles me how someone can sign up to this or even get off from that. I have 2 friends who've been offered such services. And it's weird it happened twice only in my limited social circle. Finnish domination is how I choose to see that, and no amount of explaining can convince me the Finns haven't created a sexual fetish about themselves. Belly and belly button fetish. Stomachs are cute though. Midriff will always have a lad acting strange. Pegging anal play for straight guys. It turns out a lot of guys enjoy a good dicking or to be finger banged in the ass. Prostate stimulation is pretty great for some guys. Farting on dicks. My girlfriend is oddly attracted to the idea of ripping a fat one on my dick, so I let her. That's why my name's Farty Balls. This was a wild comment, lol. It's one of those things you overhear at a bar when you first walk in and it sets the mood for the rest of the night. Spanking. Username checks out.